hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Most of us blacks, or Negroes as he called us, really thought we were free without being aware that in our subconscious, all those chains we thought had been struck off were still there. And there were many ways where what really motivated us was our desire to be loved by the white man. Malcolm meant to lance that sense of inferiority. He knew it would be painful. He knew that people could kill you because of it, but he dared to take that risk.
He was saying something over and above that of any other leader of that day, while the other leaders were begging for entry into the house of their oppressor. He was telling you to build your own house.
Woo-hoo. Yo, yo, yo. It is Thursday night. We have made it back to the No PC show. Sorry, had some personal things to take care of, but we did make it to the show. Glad to see everybody back. This is a serious topic night. So everybody that's on the Facebook side, I put a link up there, and hopefully everybody can see the link. I would, if you can, come over to the YouTube side. This software updated again yesterday, this OBS software I use for broadcasting. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. It looked like it brought over most of the settings, but we'll keep playing around with it until we get to do what we need to do. It's Thursday night. Where your kids at? Where you at? This is a show especially for a lot of young people. And I was watching the Breakfast Club, and they had a young lady on the Breakfast Club by the name of Ebony Williams. And Ebony Williams is I'm going to put it up on the screen so everybody can see it. Ebony Williams is she's a talk show personality, but she was also an attorney, public defender, and whether she's pushing her book that she's put out, I think it's called Politics Narratives, and she just plainly put it out on the line. So she may get a lot of flack back from it, but it was information that every black person needs to know. And she kind of discussed the case of the Central Park Five, which we're all familiar with now, and we saw the injustices of the system. So this show is going to talk a lot about the injustices of our criminal system, and give you, if you don't have an understanding of how corrupt and crooked and how the truth really doesn't matter in a lot of cases, seems like usually if you're a white man with some money, you can pretty much do whatever you want, right? Hence your president, Donald Trump. This man just don't stop with the ignorance. He says when the lady accused him of a rape, she's not my type. And it's just gonna get blown over. He's got about 16 women that have came out against this dude, and he's like, whatever. Weinstein still not in jail. There are different rules, and we talk about this all the time. These different rules. So what I'm going to do to start the show off, and this is about an 8-9 minute clip. But it's important. I want everybody to see it. And like I say, if you're on the Facebook side, click the link. I'm posting that link again, and it'll bring you over to the YouTube side. Click that subscribe button, click that link button, click the notification. And when we're doing the show, normally we start at 7:30. Like I say, tonight we're not going to make that 7:30, but we tried our best to make it. So with that being said, we are now, let's do some little personal stuff, because you see I got my shirt on, so I always want to advertise my show. My store is called RPC Computing, Chicago, Illinois, 773-966-4457 for all your computer needs. We do repairs, upgrades, consultations, some networking. We also have print services if you need your resumes, flyers printed out. Look us up on Google. Just do a search for computer repairs South Shore, or just type in RPC Computing, and we should pop up. We'd love to have your business. And back to the show. Shameless plug. Gotta do what I gotta do. We gotta let everybody know what we gotta let everybody know, right? So from there, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna load up this thing by Ebony Williams. Now, to see the full interview, you can go out and you can see it on YouTube. Just type in Ebony Williams, Ebony with an I, and then you'll be able to see the full interview. But I'm just going to play this part right here, and then we'll come back and discuss.
I want to talk about the lesson from what happened to these young boys.
The legal lessons?
The legal lesson.
Okay.
I'm going to tell y'all something that probably will shock you. Now, Envy, you said, what about the people that did these boys so dirty? Yeah, they did. But what if I told you the vast majority of the tactics used in that interrogation were perfectly legal?
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you Yes, look it up. Your United States Constitution provides for the cops to flat out lie to your face. They call it mere trickery. Look it up. It's a Supreme Court case.
Not the fact that they can talk to kids underage without parents.
So let's talk about that. Because a lot of people feel like, so remember Yusuf, right? I remember Yusuf's mom. Yeah, Yusuf Salim. Yusuf's mom came in there in the movie and said,
the movie.
in the movie, and said, time's up on this shit. I'm taking my son with me, and he left.
Right.
So everybody's like, well, why didn't the other kids do that? And everybody thought it was about the fact that he was underage. It actually had nothing to do with his age. If they question you or me, we're all free to leave until we are under arrest. Right. But no one knows that. They felt that they were compelled to stay there. So if you listen to this right now, please know you are under no legal obligation to talk to law enforcement officers. You don't have to tell them anything, not even your name.
Even if they want to bring you...
Even if you agree to go down there?
Yeah, so let me tell you what you agree.
That's what people always say, am I under arrest?
Right.
Well, then no, I'm leaving.
Right. And that's what you should do, Angela. Say it one more time.
Am I under arrest?
And if they say no, that's your cue to know you are free to leave. Now, they will not tell you that. Because that's not their culture, and technically that's not really their job.
Right.
It's our job, right, to know what our rights are. And it's sad because these boys were 14, these boys were 15, they were 16. So how the hell are they going to know?
Even when they were rounding them up on the street, you don't have to go downtown.
Now you can go downtown,
but you don't have to.
You don't have to. Mm-hmm. What you're engaging, I'm gonna tell you what it's called, y'all. It's called a voluntary custodial interrogation. So the minute you say, yes, officer, I'm going to do myself, and that's how they frame it. That's the part that's trickery. They tell you you're helping yourself. They tell you everything is going to be okay. We're going to get this cleared away right quick, and then you're going to be able to come home to your family at night. Remember Corey? Corey didn't even have, he wasn't even on the list.
Yeah, right.
You know, he's just going with his boy. So y'all, we don't have to do that to the extent you do feel like and sometimes these officers are not by the book, and they will intimidate the hell out of you. So you can get yourself down there, and now you feel like you're in custody and you have to talk. You still don't have to talk. Now you are in a custodial interrogation, and you have the right to what? Remain silent.
So let me clear this up. Just a quick question. So if I'm walking down the street and the cop's saying, hey, we want to bring you downtown, we want to ask you some questions, you have the right to be like, no, I'm not going downtown?
Yeah, you have the right to say, let me call my lawyer. You have the right, and they might arrest you. They might arrest you, and they could arrest you for something stupid like disturbing the peace or whatever. And then at that point, you have to go downtown with them. I'm not saying don't do that because you might find yourself in a box, okay? But then what you don't have to do, y'all, under any circumstance, is do their job, which is give them evidence. Whether you did it or not, hell, I'm going to tell you the truth. Even if you're guilty of sin, it's still not your job to give them evidence to prosecute you with. So I really want people to know that. So some of the things when they see us that were legal, when they tell you we have your DNA, they can lie.
They can lie.
Wow. That's a damn lie, and they can lie.
How can they make that up? That's crazy. And they can tell you that somebody else told on you?
The second favorite. Your homeboy already said he saw you do it. That's a legal lie. My other favorite that they love to pull on you. If you just tell us what we already know,
we'll let you go.
You're free to go home. You'll have dinner. I had a case once. The officer told my client, if you just say, he was like, we don't think you did the worst of it, but if you just tell us you did something, you'll have dinner tonight with your family. And my client believed it because people don't know that law enforcement officers are legally allowed to lie.
First time I ever got arrested was for assault and battery with intent to kill, point and present a firearm. And I was in the backseat of a car when my homeboy shot at somebody, and they arrested me from high school. And that's exactly what they did. They took me down to the police station, and they was like, write a statement and tell us what happened, and we'll let you go. And I wrote a whole
Did you
statement.
believe it? You believed it,
yes,
right?
Of course. I wrote a statement lying, though.
Right, because you believed the guy in blue or the lady in blue was telling you the truth. Y'all, they're never telling you the truth. That's if I don't hear shit else I said this morning. Law enforcement is permissibly, legally, constitutionally protected to lie to you. In fact, they consider it their job. So they don't look at it like that, Envy. I'm just tell you the truth, and I'm not caping for no cops, but they feel that's their culture. They feel it's cop culture to solicit a confession. You know why? Because, and this goes to your point, Angela, about Donald Trump doubling down on the fact that they confess. Do y'all know that there is no more compelling piece of evidence in a court of law than a confession, even a made-up one? So this is what a lot of people think, too, and this is important to dispel. They think, I'm going to just tell them what they want to hear. I'm going to do what Charlamagne did. I'm going to lie on myself to get the fuck out of here, excuse my French, so that then my lawyer will take care of it later.
Right.
Because the facts are I didn't do it. The facts are my fingerprints are not there. The facts are DNA proves I didn't do it. Y'all, it doesn't work. I've been in front of juries before. They will believe a false confession before they believe DNA. They will believe a false confession before they believe a videotape. They will believe a false confession before they believe an eyewitness.
What about if you are 14 years old and underage? Can you then if they coerce a false confession out of you, that's still considered legal with no lawyer present, no parent present?
Well, the no parent part is a problem. And now you're getting closer to coercion. And see, this is hard for people to wrap their heads around, y'all, because it's not black or white. It's not like this is legal, this is coerced. It's a spectrum. So coercion, normally, the times where I've seen successful cases of proving coercion, they got to beat the kids up. They got to beat the defendant up. They got to beat your ass. Another thing that'll lead to a coerced confession is the amount of time. When you have somebody in a room for 6, 8, 12 hours, no food, they're tired. What is the likelihood that they will just say anything at that point to get the hell out of here? Now you're getting closer to coercion. But the point is, you'd be surprised how far that leadway goes. They can have you in there for 8 hours. They can have you in there with no food. Oh, by the way, don't eat or drink shit if you are in a custodial interrogation, because they are simply trying to get your DNA. And if you give it to them by drinking this water bottle, now you've done what? Their job. You've given them the evidence.
But if you didn't do nothing, it doesn't matter, right?
But I just told you, Charlamagne.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Damn, you ain't listening.
You know my past.
But she was saying that you can't trust the police at all, because technically they can lie to you, deceive you, do whatever they want to incriminate you. And as she said, it is not our job to incriminate ourselves, which a lot of times we will do, is incriminate ourselves. Let's see, why is I'm not sure what YouTube is doing, but that you have to know your rights as far as what was going on in the Central Park 5 case when the kids were taken into the room, coerced. They got hands put on them. The parents were lied to. They were lied to. I'm sorry. whatever's going on. They're just like, no, we're not letting you in. Okay, sorry, YouTube people. But she gave a lot of good points on a lot of good areas of things that were happening, as far as don't drink or eat anything. Say they want your DNA and you're like, no, you're not getting my DNA, and they need like a court order to take your DNA. But on the slick side, they'll try to offer you a cigarette. They'll offer you water. They won't let you go to the washroom. They'll do all types of things to try to access your DNA. Because if you go to the bathroom on yourself and they swab those clothes or those swabs, your DNA will be in there. So it's all these type of tactics. She said, you can ask, am I under arrest? If they say no, then you can say, well, I'm free to go. But if they got a hard on for you, like they got a hard on for Jussie now. What's up, Lawrence? You know, they may trump up some charges. Right now, Cardi B wouldn't play ball, and they've gone from 4 misdemeanor charges to 14 felony charges for Cardi B. You know, what is she gonna do? Okay, people. But she doesn't care, because as Miss Williams was saying, these are all scare and fear tactics that they will use against you to get you to confess, get you to plea. And most of the time, like Cardi B was on TV talking about, well, I'm not going to jail for none of this. And she's probably not, because she's got money and a legal team that can get her out of situations. For the average person, that's not going to work. 85% of the cases that are closed with plea deals. Because most people are reoffending criminals. There's a site, and I want to share this site with everyone. Again, YouTube people, apologize. YouTube with all their magical policies and things to keep us out of YouTube. And I guess, you only can show so much of a borrowed clip. So I'm going to see if I can just actually go back around the long way and get everybody back in. But most of the deals are done through the plea bargain system. And it's been that way for years. That's why there's a total imbalance. A lot of these public defenders may have 100 cases. And their job, for the most part, is to close the books. Close the books. Plea out. 85% of people plea out to deals. You're facing 15 years. Okay, we'll give you 6.5 plus probation, this, and this. And you don't have money for a good attorney. What happened to these young men in the Central Park 5? They didn't have any money. They weren't from influential families. One, he wasn't even part of anything. He just went down there with his boy. But you when you go to the police station, you don't have to say anything. I'll tell a story about my brother and me were riding one day, and the police get behind us. I think we might have been listening to some rap music or something like that. So I just noticed the cop, and they had been following us for a distance. So they finally get to a point, and then they decide to pull us over. So when they pull us over, I look at my brother, and this is a good opportunity for me to show him how to interact with these psychopath cops. because they'll do anything. He had a big Slurpee in his hand. I said, nope. Hold that Slurpee in your hand. Don't move. Don't make a move. Don't put nothing down. I then proceeded to stick my head out the window. And while 5 police cars had us surrounded with their guns out, like we had just robbed a bank, I said, officer, look at me. Hey. Because he seemed a little shaky. I don't know if he was a rookie or what was going on. What would you like me to do? Okay, turn the car off with your left hand, take the keys out, throw them into the road, blah, blah, blah. We all know the routine. Then they told my brother to do the same thing. Step out of the car, walk backwards, lay down on your face. I'm sure they felt like we got us some niggas. We got some niggas. Because I don't know what they typed up on their little screen. So we sitting on the curb and they got our identification. And they had never paid attention to my shirt when all this was going down. And it comes across the cop radio. That is Richard Robinson's car, blah, 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 blah. At that point, I look at the officer and said, okay, we've heard that this is my car. Can you take these handcuffs off of us? Well, so-and-so and so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. I said, I want you to take a look at my shirt. I want you to read it. This is the law firm I work for. Amazingly, after that, the conversation became way different. It became, let's take these handcuffs off and all this type of stuff. But they didn't stop there. Just like she said, they wanted to take us back to the station, even though there was no reason, but they gave us a bullcrap reason. Well, we're doing this because we need to, there was a stolen car report on your records in Chicago. And for some reason it's clear in Chicago, but it was never cleared off our records in Orland. So we need to take you back to the station. Okay, I wasn't under arrest or anything, but I was still put into the police car and driven back to the police station, and my car was left on the scene. I'm like, what the hell? So I called one of my guys because I'm not under arrest. Okay, yeah, we just want to get everything situated. And I look at my brother and I tell him, they are running our records right now. This is what they're doing. They're running our records because they want to see if we got any type of record or anything that they can use on us, to place on us. So after about an hour, okay, we've cleared it off. We're going to drive you back to your car. So we get to the car, and then I'm like, no, wait a minute. Officer, it's going to sound crazy, but I need you to stand here while we take everything out this car. Well, that sounds crazy. Why would you do that? Hey, it was crazy that you stopped me, took me back to the station. It's almost like an unlawful detainment. And you left my car here on the scene when I was not under arrest. I didn't get to drive my own car. So there could be a kilo of cocaine that has been placed under this car for me to get down the road. Well, that sounds crazy. Okay. Well, again, look at the shirt I'm wearing. This is the law firm I work for. Then he stayed. They are only going to bend their will to fuck you over if they know you're not in a position to protect yourself. That's why white people get away with tons of shit, because they may be related to a lawyer or be a lawyer themselves, or have some type of judge or somebody in their family that can counteract a lot of this shit. That's why the arrest rate for black people is so high. What did she say in here? She called it intimidation tactics. She talked about mere trickery. Mere trickery, and I kind of looked it up because she was basically saying it allows you to legally lie. tell a lie right out. I guess I had it on the screen, but I guess I don't have it right now. But mere trickery just says that legally they can tell you any type of story. Oh, just say you was in the car. Ray already told us you was in the car. You didn't really do nothing, but things went wrong, so we trying to get Ray, not you. And then you admit like, oh yeah, well, I was in the car. Then they say, oh, well, somebody died, so you getting charged with the same murder as Ray got charged with. Even if Ray got killed, you could get charged with Ray's murder for being in the car with Ray when Ray just picked you up and didn't tell you nothing. They can convene a grand jury where the prosecutor just presents their case, nothing about your case, and then you'll get indicted and you'll find yourself standing in front of the judge on charges you know nothing about. They can take a jaywalking and turn it into a hit and run, and you'll be standing up there looking crazy. Like I say, for anybody that joined late, that the lady's name is Ebony Williams with an I. She was on the Breakfast Club, and she was a former public defender and an attorney who worked within the justice system. I also want to share. I'm going to share this other page with you all, and you should share this with whoever you know. I've got the card right here. I hand this card out a lot in my shop. Got into an argument with a woman one day because it was just ridiculous. She was like, oh, do you know the family, the First Defense Legal Aid are responsible for the 911 attacks? I'm like, lady, what the hell are you talking about? I said, we're in a community where people don't know their rights, that are constantly stopped and badgered by the police, and you're going to sit here and argue with me about 911. Get the fuck off my phone. I ain't got no time for this. Everybody should take this information down or go to this site, First Defense Legal Aid. I have cards in my shop where if you don't have an attorney or you need representation, you or someone else should call 1-800-LAW-REP-4. 1-800-LAW-REP-4. And this will put you in contact with some attorney that will come and help you out immediately. You like she says, when you get down there, you ain't got to talk, you ain't got to say nothing. If you give them your ID, you don't even have to state your name. Yeah, they're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna give you some shit. Just sit there and take it. Everything they say to you, I want my lawyer. You see it on TV shows all the time. As soon as somebody says they want their lawyer, that shuts down everything. You're going to tell us, we know that you did it. Yeah, I want my lawyer. We're going to lock your ass up forever. Yeah, I want my lawyer. And they may very well lock you up. One of the most interesting things I heard when she was talking about the case, she was saying, hey, Miss Kathy, she was saying, if you give a false confession just to get out thinking that your lawyer can help you out of this situation, you're in for a rude awakening. Because sometimes those jurors, they'll believe a false confession over an eyewitness account. Remember the Mike Brown case? There was a guy right there with him, saw the whole thing. A lot of people saw the whole thing with Mike Brown. And the only witnesses they believed, they discounted all the black testimonies of everybody that was out there. Some white men that were 1,000, I think they said almost 100 yards away, almost a football field away. They didn't even want to believe their testimony, really. Well, how can you see? So the eyewitness standing right there is, oh no, you're lying. You're this, and you're this. So they'll deny eyewitness. They'll deny DNA. when it came about with the case with the Central Park Five, none of these young men's DNA was found anywhere on the scene. Not only not on the woman's person, but nowhere in that vicinity. And when the guy did come forward, they were like, okay, well, he's just a sixth man. But his DNA and everything was the only thing that was there in that area, period. So these prosecutors and things, and if you listen to the interview with Ebony Williams, she'll tell you, most of the stuff they did was legally within the books. I worked at a law firm for 20 years. This is what they do. They know the law and they know what they can try to get away with. So often they will play on your stupidity. You don't have to make their case easy for them. What do they say? You have the right to remain silent. It's your Fifth Amendment. Why don't more people invoke it? Why are you even talking? Explain your side of the story. You ain't got to explain shit. You ain't got to say nothing. Just say, I want my lawyer. That shuts down all that. You might still get arrested. You may have to go to jail. And like she says, sometime, as in the case of that was in Chicago with Burgess, beating people for years, getting confessions, you might have to take that beat down. And like she said, don't confess to anything or don't say anything because you think your lawyer is going to show up and be able to get you out of that. Everything you say, anything you say, can and will be used against you in a court of law. We got to explain this to our kids, our young people. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You think it's a game? You think you can talk smart and all this other type of stuff, especially now with video? Man, they will incriminate you. They will say you were attacking an officer. This is the type of stuff that is going on in our court system, and then you wonder why the prison system is at 65% blacks. But college enrollment is what, 20%? Most of that black females? What do we do? We're often talking about, well, how do we protect ourselves? What can we do? And the sad fact is, if you're black in America, it's going to be hard for you to protect yourself from the politics of a country that enslaved you since you got here and only look for other reasons to keep you enslaved. It's $44,000 a year to keep a prisoner in prison. Would they spend that same amount to educate somebody? Sorry, I'm just typing something for someone. Because that's big money. Corporations are investing in prison systems. You got everything from soap to everything in the commissary is made by some company. So you got cheap labor at $1.85, some places, maybe $3 some other places, where you're making these products or buying these products. So now they make it comfortable in prison. Oh yeah, you want some house shoes? Now get somebody to put some on your books. What happened to these young men in the Central Park 5 case was unbelievable. What happened to Tamir Rice is unbelievable. Why they are moving the what do they call it? The canopy that he got shot under and making it a monument is beyond me. But they found that he was guilty of his own death. And it's amazing how often we are responsible for our own death. Now, some people may say, well, if you just follow the rules, this won't be a problem. What do you mean? What was Tamir Rice doing? He was a kid in the park, and people, if you hear the phone calls, people were saying, I think it's a kid with a toy gun. They heard this report, but they still showed up blasting this little young kid. And guess what happened? The Cleveland officer who killed Tamir Rice is hired by the Ohio Police Department. What about Eric Gardner? Those cops was cleared too. What about Freddie Gray? Those cops were cleared too. So people are dying and being punished in their death. Let's not even forget about Trayvon Martin. Don't follow him. We got it. Stand down. I'm the victim. I was scared all of a sudden after I did what I did. I'm not satisfied with this Laquan McDonald case because the system worked for this man. I saw it even before he was sentenced. I said, this man is sitting here too comfortable, but he already knew the bullshit that was going to happen in court. What's happening to this judge that says, I'm going to deny these 16, the whole case was about the 16 shots. I'm going to ignore every count of the 16 shots and sentence him on this little thing here. And then when Kwame Raoul and other people try to come out against him, you get egg on your face again, nigga. No, wait a minute, nigga. You think we give a fuck about Laquan McDonald? What about the other guy, LeGrier, who called the police himself when he was having problems with his father? The neighbor, Betty Davis, opens the door. She's shot and killed first, but the officer says, no, he was charging him. How is he behind her and getting shot and then blamed for his own death? We got to stop, we can't allow the murder of black folks to continue and it not be properly addressed. The officer in the Laquan McDonald case will be out in time to see his daughter graduate high school. He got moved to a minimum security prison. But let your black butt do something. I'm sure he had a lawyer that knew all the ins and outs. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to say this because obviously it's legal for cops to lie. We saw a ton of people. There were 5 other officers that wrote false testimony and they got off too. So when people tell me, well, you got to trust the system, man. It's the system. It's going to work for you. That's some bull. Why do we continue to trust the system that it's more than obvious that the system is corrupt? This country that we live in is corrupt. There's 2 sets of rules. Like I always say, it must be 2 gods because they go to church every Sunday and they pray to a God. And then we go to a different church and we pray to a God. But their God seems to say, it's cool to do whatever you want to do to black people. I mean, you got to kill them, manipulate them, beat them down. It's cool. What's the problem here? All these niggas want to do is be under us. They want to be like us. Meanwhile, you got these white people in the school that were paying all this money to manipulate the system with their rich asses. And then some of them decide to be defiant and they not going to jail because they got lawyers. They got lawyers that know the system. And that's our biggest problem. We got to know the system. You got to know what you're doing. don't say nothing. That's the bottom line. If you are arrested, I mean, you can ask, am I under arrest? Even if you're on the street. Had another situation, which was totally bogus. I'm leaving the lake, me and my cousin and a young lady. This was years ago. And we're by the Museum of Science and Industry. And in the part where we're turning, I see a fire truck just sitting there. I don't know what they were doing, some routine thing or something. And a couple of cars go by this fire truck. They turn, they go. So I get up there and I do the same thing that they do, but then I get pulled over. And then they start saying, well, don't you see this emergency vehicle? I said, yeah, that emergency vehicle has been sitting there since I left the parking lot over here, and people have been turning past it. Well, how you know it's going anywhere? Dude, I've been looking at it since I was in the line to get over here. Please step out of the car. Then he starts giving me this yah thing. Well, I can take you to the station, blah, blah, blah. Or, you can give me the $75 and we can, let you go. I said, what have I done? You haven't proved anything. The fire truck is still sitting there. You're trying to act like I committed a crime when I didn't commit a crime? Where's your driver's license? I got my driver's license out. My glasses were broke. I had them in the car. Well, it says here that you're supposed to have your glasses on when you're driving. I could take you in and lock you up. So it got to the point with me, okay, then I guess we're going to jail. We're going to jail. I'm not giving you no money. I didn't break no laws. I'm going to jail. Okay, we're just going to let you off with a warning, but be careful next time. This is the type of nonsense that we put up with all the time because we don't know the law. We don't know our rules. And knowing the law and the rules, let me remind you, knowing the law and the rules is not going to stop you from getting arrested. If they want to be an asshole and arrest you, and another reason not to speak to them or to say anything to them, because they're going to try to escalate things and say you have an attitude problem. Like in the Sandra Bland case, he comes back to the car. Oh, you okay? She should have just said, can we get this over with, officer? Thank you. Yeah, I'm but you're looking a little aggravated. Yeah, I'm a little aggravated. You're pulling me over, blah, blah, blah. Well, can you put your cigarette out? She's in her car not doing anything, smoking a cigarette. Some people get nervous when cops pull them over. Well, why did I got to put my cigarette out? Can I get the ticket? Okay, step out of the car. He escalated this. The videotape has now come out that was on her phone showing everything that happened that they left out of her case and called it inadmissible. And the only thing happened to this dude is he went and got it. He just couldn't get a job as a cop in Texas no more. And she knew a lot, and she said, all I have to do is say this, and all I have to do is say this, all I have to do. Yeah. But she must miss that whole civil rights part where often the police would detain individuals, and call their Klans members, and then they let them know what time we going to let you out. Okay, well, you free to go now. It's a little dark. Be careful out there. Hope nothing happened to you. And they showed the cell and everything that they have in there, but there was clearly empty cells in the front. Why could she not be in the front? Why was she being put in the back? And then they give this one white lady the story to validate, because, of course, why would this white woman be in here telling lies to you good people about what happened to Sandra Bland? This is a good, trusting, dope fiend woman right here that we just happen to be in the cell next to her, saying, well, she was crying and she was upset, and and then they wrote in the report. She said she tried committed suicide before. She's on this medication, and it was proven that she wasn't on the medication. Multiple times she tried to make calls to people, The one thing I tell everybody about militants don't kill themselves. Hey, Doris. Militants don't kill themselves. And if I know I'm going to court on Monday, what's a couple of days in jail going to do that I got to kill myself? Because I got to go to court on Monday to testify against a low-down, good-for-nothing. Who knows what was going on in that jail? Who knows what secret ducks? Why is there a garbage bag? And I've never been in a jail cell where they allow you to have a belt, shoestrings, or anything that you could possibly hang yourself with. She had her Bible and a half-eaten sandwich on the table. Oh, all of a sudden I'm just going to jump up and I'm going to strangle myself. It makes no sense at all, but they will feed you the lie until you digest it. And this is what happens. So we have to be more careful if you are arrested, if you are approached by the cops. Don't get into any type of verbal art thing with these people if you can help it. The case of the young lady in the school system of a few months ago. No, I'm not going to let you beat my kid. No, that's not about to happen. That case, yeah, I'm probably going to have to catch one and be out of here. But we're not engaging and having all different types of situations that you can get pulled into. I remember one day I was leaving my house and there were a couple of gentlemen in a fight. And I'm on my way to work. I'm trying to get out. The cops pull up. Yeah, sure, they don't know who I am. I'm like, I'm not with this. And they even said, no, this dude wasn't involved. This between us. Sir, you're going to stay here too. I'm not under arrest, but if I would have walked off, yeah, of course I'm going to be under arrest. Maybe I get beat or anything like that. One of my friends, Nate, rest in peace, was beaten by the police like Rodney King. They probably tried to kill him. He won very little money because even if you sue these people, your lawsuit will be very minimal. While white women get millions of dollars because somebody peeped through a peephole. I'm tired of black people taking up for the system. Even if it's not affecting me, it's affecting someone, which means it affects all of us. And until we start acting like we got some damn balls and some damn sense and are able to hold people accountable, what are we doing here? We're being hypocrites to ourselves. We're enslaving ourselves. We're imprisoning ourselves. And we're doing a disservice to our children. Right now, you see a lot of angry protesters. I haven't heard from the Black Lives Matter in a while, since they were kind of determined a hate group by your president who's raping women. The hypocrisy is crazy. The Jussie Smollett thing, it's just been blown way out of proportion. But now they're coming after Kim Foxx because they wanted that office anyway, because we had Anita Alvarez in here helping us to destroy all these black people, all these minority people. And now this nigga has came in here and exonerated like 26 people that we put in jail for no good damn reason. But then you get a call from the police. We were wondering, would you like to donate to the police fund? We do such an excellent job protecting the neighborhoods and all this. And then when you say, nope. Oh, well, you don't believe the police protecting? Well, I guess some of them do. Some of them do. Everybody can't be bad. It's like, you buy a bag of apples. Every one of them can't be good. I hope everybody does get to go out and see that video with on the Breakfast Club with Ebony Williams. Obviously, YouTube said I showed too much of it. I probably could have showed 5 minutes of it without a problem, but they flagged it, so they booted me off, and that's what caused the issue on YouTube. So we apologize for that again. Facebook people, you guys are probably going to get the whole 55-minute stream. We just got to be smarter, people. We got to stop believing in systems that persecute us, that kill us, and that belittle us, and have no good intention for us. And I know everybody's going to say, well, you got to vote to change the rules. We've been voting for, well, most of us have been voting for the past 60 years. Some of us was trying to vote even before then. And that's how far has that vote taken us? It hasn't really taken us far if they still got you believing that we talked about this HR 40, even though it's been out on the books for about 20 years, because we don't know if we want to spend this. And here's the kicking part. We want to spend $100,000 to commission a group to see if slavery had an effect on you people. What Mitch McConnell said the other day, look, we fought a war and we gave y'all a black president. You niggas ain't getting shit because you don't deserve shit, because you ain't got the balls to do anything about it when we don't give you shit. This our country, nigga. We wrote the rules, we wrote the Constitution, and it was for us, good white American people. So y'all trying to benefit off rules that wasn't written for y'all. And we will manipulate them. We will fuck them over. And what you gonna do? You ain't gonna do a damn thing but keep licking our boots, kissing our ass, and wanting to be like us. And that's your problem, nigga. Love, peace, soul. We out of here.
Step out of the car. You not have the right to do that. I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove you. I refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself. Now if your woman ain't no revolutionary, she'll persuade you to be a fucking slave for the rest of your day. She'll be grooming you on how to behave, teaching you how to coon and buck dance so that you can be safe. If that brother ain't no rider, soldier, no provider, molder of young minds, check it out. You got yourself a bitch. Think about the time that you invested in him. If he's wearing them skinny jeans, you a lesbian. For every 100 black women who ain't locked up, it's only 83 black men remain. Take away 1.5 million black men who might have benefited their women and their children. You don't know a war when it's waged against you, when it makes you drive your baby mama to the clinic just to kill your own. Ain't no legacy to leave behind, cause ain't nobody sitting on your throne. You motherfuckers are asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't stop, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, you asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't fight, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, nigga. Sandra Bland was a rider. She wouldn't have committed suicide if you a motherfucking liar. It would not be wise to stop when you hear sirens and you see the police behind you, but you don't wanna die. They gon' shoot you if you run. They gon' say that you was going for the police gun. That's why they shot you like 120 times, but you was still coming, so they put another bullet in your lung. Them devils got you praying while they murder, because they know you on that bullshit. They steady with them full clip and body armor. They kill your women in the street, cause they figure you too weak to do anything about it. You some shit, getting fucked in your seat. They poison you every time you brush your teeth. You don't care, you behave like a slave. A bitch from the cradle to the grave, on your knees with your hands out, begging cause you wanna be saved. Are asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't stop, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, you asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't fight, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, nigga.